So if you're watching this video, that means that I finally quit my job for good. And right now I am traveling across the world in Bali, Indonesia. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I'm going to share with you 3 signs that I've discovered it was finally time for me to quit my job and go full-time into entrepreneurship. So if you're someone who is thinking about quitting your job, maybe you're someone who is not as happy as you once were at your current job and you're thinking about making a career change, a job change, or maybe you're someone who wants to finally turn your passion into a full-time income, but you're just a little bit hesitant to do it because you don't have a backup plan or you don't really have a way to make money just yet, then you're really going to want to pay attention in this video because I'm going to be sharing with you personal stories from my own experiences on the signs that allowed me to realize that it was finally time for me to quit my job for good and chase after what I really wanted.
But you ain't living like that. The Porsche costs 100, this is twice that. Flooded on my diamonds, falling spring. Back in Oakland, I'm a king. I know I'm Aussie, it's a thing.
It's a beautiful rainy day here in Scottsdale, Arizona. You can't really see it with this freaking window, but let's go outside real quick. And I thought it was a perfect kind of mood to create a video like this because it never rains in Arizona, first of all, and it kind of has this gloomy yet positive vibe to it right now. So I decided to flip on the camera and film this video because I feel like a lot of young millennials especially are overwhelmed with the amount of abundance and opportunity that there is in this world. We see it every single day with tons of, 16-year-olds making millions of dollars with Shopify stores, with e-commerce, and they all have Lamborghinis on Instagram, right? And we all want that, online internet money lifestyle, but what does it really take to get there? And more importantly, how do you know if it's time for you to finally make the transition into chasing after what you really want? Let's get started. So the first sign that really allowed me to realize that it might be time for me to quit my job was that I was constantly thinking of ways to make money outside of my current position. So for example, every great company has incentives. Every great boss knows that they need to incentivize their employees if they want to keep them happy, if they want them to be happy long term. Because what do we all want in life? We all want to progress. You are probably someone who wants to, level up in your health, in your wealth, in your relationships. You want to be able to see progress in all those areas of your life. Let me ask you a question. Do you really want to be making the same amount of money you're making right now, a year from now? How about 2 years from now? How about 3 years from now? How about 5 years from now? If you woke up 5 years from now and you're still making the same amount of money you're making today, would you be happy? If you're working at a job where you don't have any incentives to make more money or a clear written path where you can level up in the company, become, at a better position that you're at right now and make more money, then you're really not going to be motivated to stay longer, work later, give more effort to a company that's not going to reward you for those extra efforts and going the extra mile. Now, of course, you can make the argument that you should be willing to work, stay late, and go the extra mile so you can earn more money. But at the same time, if there's no clearly written out path for you to make more money, which you can measure on how fast you're achieving to get to that path and that, mile marker, whatever the measuring stick is to be able to make that amount of money more than what you're making now, it's really hard for an employee to become motivated to want to put in the extra hours if it's not, written down and set in stone. But if you're just getting promises that you'll make more money, if you're just getting, verbal agreements that you'll level up in the company, it's not as motivating as having it written down on paper. And like I said, if your company right now or your job doesn't have ways for you to make more money or incentive programs in place, that is a huge red flag that you want to be aware of. And that's a sign that it might be time for you to finally leave your job. Sign number 2, I learned this from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. And in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by Robert Kiyosaki writes that you should work to learn, not work to earn. Okay? Work to learn, not work to earn. And let me explain what I believe that to mean in my own life, from my personal experiences. So, for example, right after I graduated college, I took a job with Pepsi. okay? And I was gonna be getting paid about $65,000 right outside of college. So right after college, I was gonna graduate and I was gonna be getting paid $65,000, which to most fresh college graduates, that's, pretty decent, right? And I was gonna be getting a 401k, retirement package, stock, all that good stuff that most of your parents would be raving about. Yeah, Brian, you did it, which my mom was as well. And on the second day at that job, I knew I was gonna quit that job. The second day on the job, I knew I was gonna quit. And the reason why I knew I was gonna quit was because I started meeting the people I was gonna be working with every single day, and all of them just seemed like they were dead on the inside. Like that they were dead. They just didn't have any goals, they didn't have any dreams, that they gave up on their goals and their dreams. And in an environment like that where it feels like they had the life sucked right out of them, you can't help but feel like if you stay at this current job, you're gonna have that same experience. You're gonna get your life sucked right out of you, not in a good way either. You're gonna have your goals and your dreams eaten up by the corporate world because you're limited on what you can do, and you have to be there 9 to 5 every single day. And I knew at that point I wasn't gonna be here for long. And I ended up quitting that job 2 weeks later. Within 2 weeks, I quit the Pepsi job and I took half the pay for a startup company, a startup tech company based out of Silicon Valley, where I was going to be doing sales calls, because I knew if I worked to learn sales, get better at sales, I could write my own paychecks and go work for any company in the world, because all great companies need great salespeople. Because a great salesperson can write their own paycheck because they know they're valuable, they can bring in more revenue for a company. And if I could master phone sales, I could go anywhere and work anywhere and be valuable to any company that needs more money, that wants more revenue, and that needs good salespeople to help drive that growth. And so I took the pay cut because I wanted to work to learn, not work to earn. And most people, they work because of their paycheck. They're guaranteed a paycheck every 2 weeks. If you're not growing, you're dying. And Jim Rohn said a great quote that I really want to share with you. Ask yourself not what you're getting on the job. Ask yourself, who are you becoming? Not what are you getting, but who am I becoming here? Who am I going to become at this job? Who am I going to become at this company? So work to learn, not to earn. And if you're not learning on your current job and you're just simply doing it for the paycheck and you're not satisfied with where you are, but you feel like you should be doing more, you feel like you should be learning more, you feel like you should be pushing yourself, that's a sign that it might be finally time for you to quit your job. And the third sign is that no matter what you try doing, no matter what you try telling yourself, you always end up feeling like you're not really living your true purpose. You're not pushing yourself to the edge and maximizing your days and really going after what you want. And this is one that you can only really answer for yourself. I can't help you with this. No one else can really help you with this. This is something that you only know for yourself. And for example, for me, this was the biggest sign that it was finally time for me to quit my job for good, no longer work for anybody else, and become a full-time entrepreneur and chase after my goals and dreams for good, all on my own. Because no matter what I tried doing, for example, this last job that I've been with for the last 2.5 years, I was making a good amount of money. I was making the money I wanted. I was, doing pretty well. I had a pretty easy lifestyle, but I just wasn't doing the most that I could be doing every single day. And having this pit of anxiety in my stomach that I had to be at this job from 9 to 5 every single day when I could be filming videos like this for you and creating content on YouTube and writing emails and creating, videos that I know I could make to be able to help young, hungry professionals level up mentally, physically, spiritually, and become the best version of themselves. And I wasn't doing that. And I was just having to be stuck from a 9 to 5 every single day and wasting literally 8 hours of my life, Monday through Friday, just because of a paycheck. Just for a paycheck. And I wasn't learning anymore. I wasn't growing. I felt like I was stuck. And no matter what I tried telling myself, no matter how good the opportunity was, no matter how good I had it, where I was kind of getting by without really even trying, it didn't matter. I was making the money. I had the friendships. I had the coworkers that were awesome. I had the team. But it just wasn't enough. I just knew that it was never going to change unless I changed. Jim Rohn, once again, for things to change, you have to change. And I knew that, Brian, it's time for us to make a change, man, because it's going to keep happening. And every 3 months, it's like clockwork. It just, no matter how good things were at my last job, no matter how good they were going to be in the future that I was told, right? It didn't matter. I was willing and am willing to risk it all because I knew that I was meant for more. I was put on this earth to do more, and I was put on this earth to, more importantly, chase my purpose. Your purpose always comes first, guys, no matter what. Are you really going to just live for a paycheck, or do you have something eating at you every single day that you know you should be doing, but you're just not taking action on it? And if you are taking action on it, you know that you're not taking as much action as you could be if you went at it full time, or if you just did a little bit more if you didn't have to be at the job you're currently at. That was the answer for me. So those are the 3 signs that I've realized over the last 5 years of working multiple jobs, working to learn, not to earn, and going throughout this process many times just to realize that it's finally time for me to do my own thing. And thankfully, I've set myself up where I have my own business making me money on the side, now full time, which is my YouTube advertising agency. Thankfully, I set myself up the last year by building my business on the side, and I have enough money from that business to supplement my full-time job. And so those are the 3 signs, and I hope that gave you a little bit of clarity in your life, because I know what it's like to feel like you're not chasing after your purpose. I know what it's like to feel like you have this anxiety every single day that you have to go to work and, waste time at a job that you're not really truly satisfied with, that you're not learning anymore at, that you don't like the people you're working with anymore because you feel like they're kind of holding you back, and you feel like you have to play on the same level of playing field that they're playing, and you have to kind of avoid talking about certain things you want to do because it'll make them feel bad about the things they're not doing, right? I know all of that. And I've experienced it so many times. And I want you to know that you're not alone. These feelings are very real. There's tons of people going through this just like you. And I hope that me sharing some personal stories in my own life can help you gain a little bit of clarity in yours to finally make that decision on whether or not it's time for you to quit your job, or if it's time for you to stay in the current job you're at and to keep going with it just for a little bit longer. And now you're probably wondering, okay, Brian, all those signs are great, but now it's time for me to quit my job. So what do I do? Well, for me, what I did 6 months ago was I set for myself what's called a D-Day. And I learned this from Brendan Bouchard. He made a video about how to quit your job. And I watched that video 6 months ago. And in the video, he talks about setting a D-Day. And a D-Day is basically a day where you make a commitment to yourself. And you say, on this day, I am going to quit my job for good. And for me, that was 6 months ago. So I gave myself 6 months to prepare myself to quit my job. And sure enough, it's kind of crazy how it works, but my D-Day is literally 10 days from now. And if you're watching this, I've already quit my job and I'm already traveling the world full time as an entrepreneur, building my business in Bali right now. And I feel amazing even though I'm not there yet, but technically I am because you're watching this video and it's being released when I'm there. And that's my advice to you, because if you don't set for yourself a day where you finally decide, hey, on this day, I'm quitting my job for good, then you're just going to keep being stuck in what's called analysis paralysis, where you just overthink everything. And because you overthink everything, you're not making any decisions, you're not making any actions, and you're not making any progress to what you really want. So make a decision. 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, if you're finally ready to quit your job, set a date and tell yourself, on this day, I am going to quit my job for good and I'm not going to look back. Otherwise, you'll stay stuck in analysis paralysis and you won't make any progress towards what you really want in life. So I hope this video has helped. And if it did, give it a thumbs up. It'll really help out the YouTube algorithm to help the video be seen by more hungry young professionals just like yourself, more badasses. And before you go, click this video. This video is a really good one and you'll probably like it. There's another video right here. I'll give you 2 options, not just one. I'll give you double doubles, right? Double doubles, I don't know what that was. Click this video right here. Check this one out. You'll probably like them. And if you're feeling anxious, stressed, or worried, and you're someone who is a little bit overwhelmed right now, don't worry. Remember, wiggle your toes and breathe through your nose. We're here, baby. Let's go.